Manchester United suffer back-to-back defeats after losing at home to Nottingham Forest 3-2 Saturday night football. So we praised United and the early impact of Ruben Amorim. So how disappointing will this be?
Yeah, it will be, but I think Manchester United fans probably know to expect that there is going to be ups and downs in this season with him coming in. You can see he's obviously got his way of playing. He's chopping and changing. He's trying different players in different positions. So that's always going to take time. And even, you know, after the Everton game, when he spoke the same way as you've seen it, I like the way that he speaks. And you think, given time, he'll certainly get the players playing how he wants to play, whether that's getting rid of some players and bringing players in that he wants, or working and developing the players that he's got at the moment. So I think this was probably always going to happen. Yeah,
the fact is, not down to him in the majority, that they're now in their lowest position ever after 15 games in the Premier League. Amorim said that the storm will come. Are we seeing signs of that now? Is that what he means?
Yeah, we are, but I don't think he's helped the situation himself. I don't understand why you drop Marcus Rashford after scoring a few goals. Was it 3 and 2? Then he drops him against Arsenal away from home. Plays Malacia, who hasn't played a game all season, away at the Emirates. If I'm a Man United fan and I'm travelling to the Emirates against one of our rivals, I want to see our best team. I want to see the team that he thinks is capable of winning that game, the best team. I don't want to see him tinkering with the team straight away going, well, I'm trying to find the best positions. Arsenal aren't at the best this season, or have been a little bit vulnerable at times. And United were on the crest of a wave after that Everton game. Go there with a team brimming in confidence and go and have a go at them. I was really surprised at his team. I thought his team at the weekend against Nottingham Forest was a bit strange as well, if I'm being completely honest. I think Nottingham Forest will have been licking the lips thinking, there's not really any pace up front in the team. Garnacho possibly. But as soon as you take Rashford out of that, there's no pace within that forward line. It's quite easy to squeeze the pitch high up and press them as much as you want. So I like the fact that he's coming with this system and there is an identity to what he's doing. There's a lot of chopping and changing. I understand that you've got to try and find something, but what you're trying to find is continuity as well. But you're not going to find that by chopping and changing players constantly. It might be over a period of 7 or 8 games where you start to drip players in and out and work out your best team. But he had an opportunity before the Arsenal game to close the gap on the 4th place to 4 points. Now they're nowhere near it.
So do you think he's written this season off? Is this just him learning about his squad? Because you said Arsenal were their rival, actually. If you were a fan of Newcastle, Tottenham, Fulham, Brentford, Bournemouth, Brighton, you'd be saying, actually, no, we're Man United's rivals now.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think if you read into a lot of articles about Ruben Amorim and people who know him, he is very much single-minded in the fact that the next game is the most important game. Now, I understand that to a certain degree, but there's got to be an understanding of if you go to Arsenal and win, you can close that gap. And the mindset has to be to elevate the players' standards and their mentality to, we are Manchester United and we need to be back on the top table, eating at the top table. Well, they're going to be nowhere near it doing this season. But they had an opportunity to be close and to change the mindset of the players and bring confidence back into the squad. Yeah, I've just been a little bit surprised by a few things, but maybe he is thinking this year is a learning curve. I'll learn a lot about. Been a little bit surprised by a few things, but maybe he is thinking this year is a learning curve. I'll learn a lot about the squad. But the further you finish behind the top 4 this season, the bigger that gap becomes, the harder it is to attract players. People from the outside now who you want to sign have to believe in your project, long-term project. If you finish in the top 6 in around that, people will then start to see shooting little sort of spurts of goodness and go, I quite like what he's doing there. That's very difficult from a recruitment perspective.
I think in that first half, though, against Arsenal, they kept Arsenal at bay. They made it really difficult for them and they were undone by a couple of set pieces, weren't they? So I could sort of understand why he was doing that and why he was trying to see different players, whether he was going to play different ways against certain teams. I got that. And I think the other positive with that is, if you're a player on the fringe, if you're not getting in, you think a new manager's come in, I've got an opportunity here, so I can go in and I can take that chance and that. So you can look at it from both ways, but then you're not getting that continuity, you're not getting there. He was talking about you seeing players not quite doing things how he wants them to do it just yet because they're still thinking about it, because it's not natural to them, and that only comes with playing. So I can see both sides of that.
Yeah, what are they?